Tell me when to pray.
And we're live.
Okay, let's start with a word of prayer. Holy God, we are so thankful for this day. We're thankful for Holy Week. We're thankful for Good Friday and for how you chose to go to the cross, because that has made all the difference. And we are so looking forward to Sunday. God, we just give you all the glory and praise. We lift up this Q&A session. We pray that you guide our words, you guide our answers. We thank you for this time of connecting with the people of New Hope and in our community. God, we love you, and we give you glory and praise on this Friday. Amen.
Well, I'd like to welcome everyone to our Q&A. I'm going to start off with just a couple questions that we got. And for those that are watching on Facebook, go ahead and type in your questions below in the comment section. We are watching that and we'll be able to answer those as they come through. First off, anybody that would like to chime in on what will Easter look like?
Well, you won't have any trouble getting a seat. You won't have any trouble finding a parking place. And the flower cross is there for you. Hope you'll come by, put flowers on it, and make your pictures as you feel free to do that. And the good news still comes from the garden. He is risen.
He is risen indeed. And I think the music will be very familiar to people. It's a very inspiring, encouraging, hope-filled worship service. So we might not be getting all dressed up and going into the church building, but I think I mentioned this last week. The church building is empty, but so is the tomb. And so we can still rejoice.
All right, so the next question that we had was, last night we saw in our Maundy Thursday service that we were able to do communion at home. There was one that said, will there be a way for individuals to continue to do communion at home?
Well, certainly we will continue to have that. I suppose on the first Sunday of the month, we'll have communion as a whole fellowship in the virtual church together. Anyone can have communion at home. It's a private way of doing it. It's not considered to be the holy service that it is when you take it as a whole family together, the church family. But take it to your comfort. And one of the interesting things is that there was years ago, there was a beatnik priest that served communion with beer and pretzels instead of with the wine and the unleavened bread. So Jesus took what was there and blessed it and used, and that became the holy meal. So whatever it is, and it's in your heart and you feel the presence of Jesus as you take the elements, that is called Holy Communion. So yeah, take it to your comfort.
Just wanted to be reminded of some of the stories that we heard of some pastors there in Cuba when the beginning of the revolution. They had this kind of concentration camps where they put religious leaders, the communist system, and they used to have communion in those concentration camps. So how come they would do it if they wouldn't have like a bread and wine? So they used sugarcane juice and whatever cracker there was available, whatever solid food they had available. And so I imagine for the cause that they were serving, that they were in those places, I imagine that God will be very pleased in heaven having those communion with whatever was available for them. So I believe God looks at your heart.
Can I say too that if families need a communion guide, we put out a who's, what's, and why's just for kids to help families explain communion to their kids and why we do it, how we do it, what it's for. So we can send that out, and it's out on social and everything too.
Awesome job. We also do have service tonight for Good Friday. Do we want to give a recap on how that's going to look tonight?
Well, I wouldn't say tonight. I would say in about a couple of hours, we're going to be live streaming our 3 o'clock service in Spanish right here from our backyard. We're going to be streaming our Spanish speaking Good Friday 3 p.m. service. But I believe tonight we're going to have something else going on. Mandy?
Yes, tonight we will have we're going to rebroadcast our Good Friday service. So that'll be going on the Church Online platform, which is, you're able to access that if you go to our website, findnewhope.com, or you can link directly to the online campus at findnewhope.online.church.
And that's last year's Good Friday service, right? So it's both in English and Spanish. So everybody can enjoy that experience.
Absolutely. So another question we had was, I think we had this last time, but we'll go ahead and address it again. What if somebody's looking to connect during this time? How can they join a Connect group? And are Connect groups still meeting?
Connect groups are meeting. Some groups are meeting pretty consistently using Zoom. Others are staying connected in other ways via phone calls and conference calls and that kind of thing. If you are interested in joining a Connect group, it would be wonderful. You can, if you just email me directly, and that's Vicki@findnewhope.com. I believe there's a form you can fill out on the website as well under Connect and Connect groups, I believe. Mandy can correct me if I'm wrong. And that's great. That makes its way to me. But what would be really helpful is if you, yep, there it is. Oh, I'm so good at that. Okay. Is if you let me know the specific kind of group you're interested in. Is it a group that would normally meet Sunday morning during one of the worship services? Is it a group, are you interested in a group that would meet during the week? Are you interested in an all men's group, an all women's group, a co-ed group, a group for married couples, a specific age category? So the more specifics you give me, the easier it is to find a group that would be a good fit.
Pastor Roberto, do you want to speak to how a Spanish-speaking congregation member would connect during this time?
Yes, absolutely. Whatever platform you use to watch, it could be the church online, it could be the church website, or it could be the live stream on Facebook. Make sure you post a message, and we will surely get in contact with you. And as Vicki was explaining, the more information you give us about yourself and your family, the more we will be able to really connect you with a group that will really, I would say, fit the needs of what you're looking for.
Awesome. Hey, Chris and AJ, do you guys want to chime in on how your guys' ministry can connect during this time? If it's your live broadcasts or your videos, anything like that?
I just want to remind everybody that we do our youth experience at 7 p.m. on Sunday evenings on Zoom. I try to make the link as available as possible. I send it out. It's on Facebook. If you want to get in touch with me, if you're not getting any kind of communication from youth ministries, please contact me at chris@findnewhope.com, and I will hook you into the loop. Other than that, small groups are respectively by their grade are getting with one another and having small group time. And we're trying to keep in touch with the youth every single day. So you would be getting a daily YouTube sort of just contact with us somehow, some way. So if you're not getting any of these sort of ways of communicating and getting information, contact me, let me know, and I'll put you in the loop for sure. But everything is happening, and we're excited and staying strong.
Yeah, and young adults, we've acted like things are normal, even though they're not. We meet every Sunday at 11, and it's a great time for. I mean, I open up questions for them to after we finish our small group, but how to get out of their own comfort zone. I put a challenge up for them to the week, so when they come back next Sunday, we talk about how it worked or didn't go. Trying to be the church outside your own home, and I'm actually going to start interviewing some of our college kids and talk to them during this time, as Chris has been doing, and I've set that up to start next week. But any young adult, we have a great group, great conversations, and we meet on Sundays at 11. And then I have Going Deeper, and that's kind of been more of a women's group, but it could be for anybody, and we do that on Tuesday nights. But any information for my groups, aj@findnewhope.com, and we have a great time, fellowship, the gospel, and growing closer even during these times.
One thing I want to add on to is that you probably received an email from me. If you know anybody that is graduating this year, a senior in high school or graduating from college, we are still going to have a graduation honors service in May, and we will make it happen no matter what. I've already talked to Vicki and Riley, and we want to make it happen. So we will figure it out. We will honor and acknowledge our graduates this year somehow, some way. So if you do have anybody that's graduating from high school or college, please either contact me or reply to the email that I sent out.
Awesome. And Shelley, do you want to let us know what children's been doing? I know I've been posting a lot about devotions this week. So if you want to give us a recap.
Yes, so we have a lot of different things going on. We're doing the family devotion this week. We've put out an at-home Easter egg hunt. We've got a photo Easter challenge, just different things for people to do to connect with each other and their families. But also one of the things, in addition to the Zoom meetup that Miss Suzanne's doing with Club 56 and the daily devotions Miss Lisa's doing, Miss Karen with Wonder Kids, which is our kids up through kindergarten, she's been doing a couple different things during the week as far as the lesson, getting it out in a different way. And then we've had the great addition of our small group leaders, both the youth and adults. They have jumped in and they're helping the kids and families remember our Bible verses and our points. A couple of them have done devotions. Everybody's jumping in because we want you all to be able to remember your small group leaders when we do come back together. We want kids to know each other's faces with themselves and the small group leaders. We're also still connecting with New Hope Early Learning. We still did worship, communion, chapel, all that good stuff on Wednesday. And we're pushing that information out to them so we can connect also. And I know, Pastor Roberto, you can just speak to your 3 minutes of faith that Karina and your small group leaders are continuing to do too.
Yes, absolutely. We're doing 3 minutes of faith, and different small group leaders and Sunday school teachers are communicating with their groups through social media and also WhatsApp and any platform that we have in connection with the small groups, and people are really receiving that very well, and they are very grateful for the many ways that the church has been reaching out to them in times like this.
That's all good stuff. Another question was, how can people continue to help the community and our New Hope family during this time?
I can take that one. As far as helping in our community, I would strongly recommend considering donating to ECHO. ECHO has 2 locations. One is very close to the main campus on North Parsons, and they are still doing food distributions. And the number of people that are asking for food is really, really high. I mean, we know that people are really struggling. Many people have lost their jobs or had their hours cut. And so they are making use of food pantries more than ever before. So ECHO is in desperate need really of some basic items like tomato sauce, dried pasta, mac and cheese, jelly, peanut butter, things that are the basic staples that a family might need, and they are kind of pre-packaging bags and taking them to people's cars. So it's almost like it's a very they're practicing social distancing, and it's and they've also done away with all their restrictions. Usually with Echo, you can only receive once every 6 months and 4 times in a lifetime. And considering everything that our community is dealing with, they've kind of waived those. So if you'd like to help, that's a wonderful place to start. Our food co-op is still happening. We had a great food co-op on Tuesday. And remember, our food co-op is not really a pantry because you do pay $5, but it's a small price to pay for the amount of fresh veggies and eggs that you receive. We're doing a drive-through style co-op. We had about 100 units of food, which that translates into maybe 60 families, something like that, 50 families. Anyway, so we will continue to do that. That's the first and the third Tuesday of the month. We have people that are making phone calls and sending cards and emails just to connect with our church family. And I thank you so much to all the volunteers who have done that. So if you receive a strange phone call from someone from your church that you don't know, just be gracious and thankful that we care about you and we want to know that you're doing okay.
Did we have enough volunteers for the co-op? I know we had to make it extra work on them. We did okay with that.
We had amazing volunteers. Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure on that.
Mm-hmm.
One of the questions just came in on Facebook here was, do we know what the hours for Echo are during this time at the Riverview location?
I can at least speak to their drop-off hours. If we're talking about donating food, it's Wednesday and Friday from 9 to 1 at both the Brandon and the Riverview locations. As far as receiving food, I believe they have different hours, but you can access that information on their website, which is echofl.org.
Great. And then I'll show everybody real quick too on the website. To get to the sign up for our food co-op, you would just go under the New Hope Life Center and then click on food co-op. This is going to bring up our order form. So we have the order form for our next, which is on April 21st. And then you'll see our additional meeting here on a first meeting in May, which would be May 5th, for those that are interested in that. Another question, more of a comment that we had would be it's actually from Miss Lisa. She said she just wants to encourage all youth small group leaders to reach out to Miss Lisa, Miss Shelley, Miss Suzanne, and Miss Marshall or Karen if you want to participate in helping to reach out to kids. She said, we need you. So they need some volunteers there, it sounds like, in our children's ministry. Let's see what else we have. Pastor Riley, I actually have a question for you. This is a good one. They want to know how you got such a sweet and beautiful woman for a wife. They said they want to know if it's because you have such a powerful prayer life.
I've already told that story before. You really want to hear it again?
That was actually a question I just had texted to me. So that was a good one.
Okay, well, it was, I would have to say that God gave Patty to me. I don't know what he has against Patty, but I'm sure blessed because he gave her to me. But the story about it is that Patty was operating, her husband had passed away, and she had to take over the operation of his sandwich shop, which is a very popular sandwich shop in Lakeland, Florida. And we had started dating some, and so since she had to work so hard, I would oftentimes fix supper at my house and we'd eat together. And one night we're eating and I said, look, Patty, the wife does the shopping. The wife does the cooking. The wife washes the dishes. The wife cleans up the house. And she said, will you be my wife? And I said, that is a proposal and I accept. And that is a very true story. It actually happened. And I was doing it kind of as a joke, but she was really sharp and asked me to be her wife. And I haven't been a very good wife, though, I have to say that, but she has been a delight. And she's a very good prayer warrior with me and supports me and encourages me in the ministry. And she absolutely loves New Hope Church.
That's great. Another question just came in. It was more of a statement that said, just a big shout out to all of our Meals on Wheels volunteers, and to Doug and Mary for everything they're still doing, because that is still happening every Friday. Vicki, do you know if they need any volunteers or anything to help with that ministry?
I think they're doing really well. Mary can chime in. Maybe she can send you a text if there's anything specific, but I forgot about that. They are still active and still serving over 100 people every Friday morning. We have such an amazing Meals on Wheels crew. I mean, just the work they do, and they are so dedicated. So we need to continue to pray for their stamina and their health.
Awesome. So leading into this next question, it would be, how can I still request prayer? And this is for both the English and the Spanish speaking congregation.
Well, right on the website, can somebody share their screen on how to do a prayer request? There we go. So if you go down to the bottom on the right, you can click on that and you can request prayer that way. You can also send a prayer request to prayer@findnewhope.com. And basically we have some amazing volunteers who man the email prayer chain. And that gets sent out to several hundred people about twice a day. So you can also mark whether you want it to go out to the full prayer chain or just the prayer team or just the pastors.
Awesome. Pastor, did you want to talk about the opportunity on the Nueva Esperanza website?
Yes, and if you go to www.findnewhope.com/Nueva Esperanza, you can find there, and you can also send prayer requests in Spanish there, and we encourage you to do so. Not only prayer requests, but you can also, there you go, petición de oración, in case you forgot about your high school Spanish. There you go, you can practice some there. So you can do that there. And we also encourage people to look for their Spanish-speaking neighbors, because we also have daily podcasts in Spanish that they can subscribe to it as well. And so we encourage you, you know somebody in Spanish that speaks Spanish, right? This is Florida. So find somebody that speaks Spanish and share with them the New Hope through the daily podcast and the prayer requests that they can share in our website.
Awesome. And another question would be, do I still need to submit my tithes and offerings even though we're not in the building?
Well, yeah. We need your continued support of the church in every way. And our expenses go on, but we've also been very blessed. Vicki said we had a over $40,000 deposit this week. Is that right? So that's probably the best Sunday we've had since I've been here. So very impressive, very impressive.
Just a reminder that even though we're not in the building, that ministry is still happening. You've heard all the people in this Q&A session, and there's plenty of others on church staff that are still working and making sure that we stay connected as a congregation. That I think now actually it's so interesting to see how we're able to engage with even more people. We can share things on our Facebook page and other social media with friends and neighbors and still reach people for Jesus. And we're seeing that happening. We're still seeing a lot of fruit, and it's really exciting.
And I'll show everybody real quick. You can give on our website. Up in the top right-hand corner, you'll see the Give blue button, or the blue Give button. And once you click on that, it gives you all of the options on how to give. If you currently use Vanco, you can sign in using your Vanco account. You can also give using Vanco. If you don't use Vanco and you just want to do a one-time offering, you can do it here with an easy form. There's also the opportunity to give via text. So you would just text our give number, which is 813-534-5330, and it's going to go ahead and prompt you through how to submit your tithe or your offering for that day. And to get started, you would just text the amount that you want to give to that number. So it would be texting $10, as it says, to 813-534-5330, and that will that'll let you just do it from your phone. So there's plenty of options to still give during this time. You can also drop your payments off to the church office. They will be there 9 to 1, Monday through Thursday. And you would just drop it in the box that we have there in the lobby.
And by the way, the online, the give online options are also translated in Spanish as well. So there's not going to be any problem for anybody wanting to give online. The Spanish, all the Spanish directions are out there as well.
Okay, so I think we mentioned this before. The cross is up in the courtyard in front of the social hall, and we've had some people stop by. So does anybody want to lead into why we put that up, why it's up early, and how it's going to continue to bloom over the next couple days?
I think we had a lot of people request the cross up, and somebody even said it's just a sign of hope for them. I think it's a sign of hope for all of us. Normally, we wouldn't put it up this early, but we really are trying to encourage people to practice social distancing. We don't really want a line or a crowd, so we're hoping to spread out the group of people that will come. But please come. Bring some flowers, take a picture, stand around the cross and say a prayer. Pray for our church, pray for our community, and thank God for just the Easter season.
Okay, somebody asked a question about the preschool. We know that the children aren't in school right now. They're doing their homeschooling. What's it gonna look like for 2020, 2021? And how can they register?
Shelley, you want to take that one?
Yes. So there's different ways you can register. Mandy, I believe there's going to be a link up on findnewhope.com for registration sometime
Yes,
soon.
we will. I am still working on getting that form up, but as soon as that form's up, we'll have it on findnewhope.com and at newhopeearlylearning.com.
Okay, and you can still contact Sarah Phillips. She's our interim director right now at preschool@findnewhope.com. We're still actively in registration. We're also, we're interviewing for our preschool director, correct, Vicki? And we're ready to go. Our preschool teachers are phenomenal. They're still connecting with everybody. They're still connecting with their students. They're connecting with parents. Had a conversation with a couple of the preschool teachers yesterday, and they are, some of them are doing daily calls, like they're picking a couple different kids, they're connecting with their kids. They said they talked to them for anywhere from 10 minutes to almost an hour. They're Zooming, they're doing a lot of different things. So the preschool teachers have not stopped working, whether they're in 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, or the kindergarten class. They're ready to go. So they're ready for registration, and it's open, so you can check it out at findnewhope.com.
Yeah, and we are interviewing for a director. We're really excited about the possibility for our new director. Have some really good candidates, so we can all be very encouraged.
Great job. Okay, so we just have a couple questions. We did have someone send in a request via our form that just said they were just listening, so they are very appreciative that we're doing this. We also had a comment come in that said, thank you to Pastors Vicky, Roberto, and Riley. You are all doing wonderful work and making New Hope continue to be great. Thank you to all of our staff too for all that you are doing to keep reaching people. So one of the final questions that we have is, what are each of you doing to keep your faith strong and connected to God during this time?
I'll go first. So we're doing a couple different things. I mean, since we're pushing out the family devotion, we're doing things like that. All of us in children's ministry are already actively doing that. I wanted to also mention that our Meet and Walk group, we pushed out a devotion for Meet and Walk. It started this past Friday. So we're connecting with Meet and Walk, the different people that used to, all different age groups that used to come in Monday through Fridays at 9:30 to 10:30 and walk around the Life Center. So we wanted to still connect with them. And I miss everybody's faces. So it's really great to be able to connect through a devotion. A lot of us are doing a devotion online using the online Bible app that we have through Life Church. So that's some of the ways we're connecting. And then just as a family, we're doing our family devotion too.
I'll go next. When we first started the quarantine, I was really kind of struggling to stay centered. And so I've just really had to double down and make sure I wake up earlier before everybody else and spend time reading God's word and spend some extended time in prayer. I think all of our schedules are so kind of disrupted. And so that's been really important to kind of maintain that consistency. I know that if I start out my day with an extended time of prayer, it just goes better. I mean, I just feel more connected to God throughout the day. So I would just encourage everybody. I know our lives have been turned upside down. Do all you can to stay connected to God, to spend a good quality of time communing with God. It makes all the difference.
I think one of the things that I've really enjoyed, and I have actually thought it's been kind of a blessing, is to actually, when we do our YouTube channel for Passion Student Ministries, I get the opportunity to interview certain students on certain days, and they get to talk with me for about 15, 20 minutes. I get to learn so much from them, and I totally invite you all to listen in or watch, because it's really a time when you can become very personable with these students, and they have so much to offer spiritually. They're great examples of what to do and where to reach for as far as like strength and encouragement during these times. And I've just learned so much from them. It's been a blessing, and I completely invite you all to just check some of them out, because they're just they're enlightening, and regardless of their age, they have so much wisdom to offer. So I've been getting a lot from my students. I've been learning from them, and I think it's been really fortunate that this has happened in the season that it has happened, being at Lent and now into Easter, because there's so many things that are in this season that we should be applying to ourselves anyways, as far as sacrifice during Lent and just rebirth with Easter. And I just feel like it happened at the right time. And a lot of the things I would be reading anyways or making devotions on anyways, it just is happening at the right time. So the stars are in line, as you can see.
I would say that this season has also given us the opportunity to be exposed to, I would say, to the many ways that our leaders are ministering to us now. because before we were not, some of the time when we while they were like preaching or teaching or something in their classes or small groups, we were not there because we were doing something else. Well, guess what? Now everything gets recorded. Now everything gets put online. Now everything, so we get to be exposed to all that. And to me has been a spiritual, really nourishing for me to be nurtured from our people, from our leaders, that we were not exposed to that before because of the busy schedule that we had. So it's been interesting to me to be exposed to that.
I would have to agree with Pastor Roberto. I've enjoyed all the different aspects where we're always leading, and now we get to see things because they're recorded. But for me as a mom and a follower, and with my young adults, but we do Live in Grace, Walk in Love, a devotional, and a couple of my college students do this too. But as a family at dinner, we've been, because we're together, more, which is great, but we're together having dinners, which was something that was very rare for my family because of busyness and work and schedules. My daughter brought out Jesus is Calling for Teenagers. And we've been doing that at dinner time. And it's, any devotion, anything to stay connected. But it's so important because you can get fed multiple times in a day if you need it, because we're like, feeling cabin fever or whatever. But now everything's there for us. And it's great to see it in different forms, like Chris said, and just like Pastor Roberto said, you get to see it in all, we get to see Vicky and Pastor Roberto and kids, doing devotion. So it's just a great thing. It's just great.
I can say too, we're leaning into each other a little bit more. We've all worked together for a really long time, but we're leaning in a different way because cabin fever is real at my house. I know that for sure. But we're able to we talk to each other in a different way. We're praying for each other even more than we already were. It's just phenomenal.
Well, with me, it's been a great time of just being still and knowing that He is God. It's been a time of where I can read a lot, and the scriptures have been opened to me and fresh and anew. And one of the things that I feel really great about and excited about is how I'm an old dog. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, but I can watch new tricks being done. And what this staff has been doing is a lot of new tricks. And they've been having such a good time being creative. And I am excited about their creativity and how well it's done and how this is a whole new aspect of our church. Wow. I don't know how to do all that, but they do. And I'm the old dog. I can't do new tricks, but they let me do an old one every once in a while. So I appreciate it. But it is incredible, church. It is incredible what's happening because of these creative ideas in this whole new facet of the church. And I look at it and I stand back in amazement, but I thank God for this season when we can prosper. What they are doing is incredible. So I'm excited. That's a blessing, a spiritual blessing to me.
I would say that sometimes we look at the people, the minister, as those in front of the camera. We don't look at the people that minister behind the camera.
Yeah.
And I believe this time has been putting us right in front of our face how important it is those that minister behind the camera, behind the screen. Talking about two of those that we have now. Can you put us on all the screen so that we can see a Stuart and we can see Mandy there? Because I'm talking about Stuart and Mandy right now. So whoever is moderating, can you put everybody in the screen there so that we can
I
see?
did. It is.
Okay, there you go. That's Stuart. That's Mandy as well. So let's give a big hand of applause to them. because of the many ways how vital the ministry is, and how in times like these we get to really be ministered through them. And we realize that even though when before COVID-19 we were being ministered by them as well.
But their jobs have really, really been essential these last few weeks. They've been incredible, and they've worked way over their hours. So they both should be commended.
Wow. I'll speak for Stuart and I real quick, and Stuart, you can chime in. I think we appreciate the applause, but this is something that we both love to do. And being able to try new things for me has been amazing, and I love it, and I love the reception, and I love the feedback. So it's been really, really good.
And I said this from the get-go that a lot of these tools and tricks we're learning, this is not for just now. This is definitely tools and things we can continue to use forever. Maybe in a different capacity, or maybe we'll even figure out other new things we can do. You know, editing the services ahead of time is an interesting thing. We can do some things we can't do necessarily when we do it live, but that's not entirely true. We could pre-tape things like we did for announcements and play them back. So there's a lot of little tidbits I'm collecting as I go.
We did just have 2 questions come in on Facebook. One was, when do we project the next new membership class to be held? Is a good question to have when we're not in a normal state of mind here.
I saw that question, and I think probably we need to figure out how to do that virtually. And that is something I will talk to Riley about, and maybe we could do a virtual join our family via Zoom, maybe in the next few weeks. I can't imagine why we would need to put it off. So we'll talk about that, figure out a date and a time, and communicate it. Riley, I think that would be pretty easy, right?
Yeah, I think that would make a lot of sense.
And then we can have people join in our virtual worship service.
Wouldn't that be terrific?
It would be awesome.
Wouldn't that, it's like when the people have joined not knowing who the preacher's going to be. Now they're joining not knowing when we're ever going to be back to church together. So it's an incredible witness. Let's do
New
that.
level of commitment. I love it.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have some people we've got some folks watching from South Carolina and Arizona and up in Tennessee and Georgia. Maybe some of them will join our church now.
They can join our online campus.
Yeah, right.
Third location. So that's awesome.
We had a comment come in that just said they want to say thank you for all your hard work. We love you guys. And then we had one final question, which would be, would the music ministry consider putting together an online live worship service of some sort, like a midweek live? And that would probably go to the pastors as well, and not just a worship, but how we can maybe connect again. Is that something that we're looking at?
I know that I put out something to some of our friends on the praise team and asked them to send me songs of just sitting in their living room, something that they could do. And I've gotten several, and I was using them I'm going to use them for my daily video clips, but I also thought it would be wonderful to string those together and do just a praise and worship service that could be posted anytime during the week. So all you musicians out there, get busy. Send me something via email, Vicki@findnewhope.com. And we don't have to be in the sanctuary to do a praise and worship service. Do it from your living room. I think it makes it even more meaningful. So send me your music.
Okay, I think that wraps. I just had one more come back in. that's actually not for, that's for me. Scratch that. Does
When are
anybody
you
have
coming home?
yeah, right. Does anybody have any final comments that they want to say before I wrap up? And at the end, I'll let everybody know how to watch online, how to watch replays, and all that good stuff.
I would say Dios les bendiga. And I'm not going to translate that. I'm going to use Google or something. Dios les bendiga. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
He lives. He is risen. He is risen indeed.
All right, so for everybody that's watching, thank you for submitting your questions. I'm going to show you here how you can get to our online campus. You just navigate to findnewhope.com. This big white picture here, this is New Hope Campus Online Campus. You'll click on it. This will open up our online campus. This is where you can watch on Sundays, on where we have our replays. And over on the right side here, you'll be able to see you have access to a Bible. You actually also have access to our schedule. And when we're live and we're broadcasting something, you'll have the chat screens here. So you'll be able to chat with us. Like AJ said, we do have moderators at almost all of our worship services. We may not have one at a replay, but if you have any questions, you can always email us at info@findnewhope.com, or you can email any of your leaders here. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.